Hi everyone, I'm Alyssa Omi, and today I will be presenting my pitch on the short story I created called Build a Buddy. So the logline for my film is, after being bullied during her first day of school, a young, aspiring surgeon decides to create her own best friend. So the little girl that you see right here is Victoria, and she is the 8-year-old protagonist to this film. And her and her family have moved to a strange new town. And why is it strange, you might ask? Well, creatures live in this town, and no humans live here. So why would a human family want to live there in the first place? Well, Victoria's parents are actually healthcare workers. Her mom is a surgeon, and her dad is a doctor. Now, Victoria has been obsessed with her mom and obsessed with her mom's work ever since she was born, practically. And even though she's 8 years old, she does her own procedures. And her newest one was the creation of her new doll named Stitches. Now, this friendship is so serious that they even wear friendship bracelets, and Stitches wears an orange one, and Victoria wears a teal one. And since they just moved to this town, she gets to go to school for the first time, and she's so nervous because who wouldn't be if you're going to a school full of creatures and you're the only human? And shockingly enough, she gets bullied because of this. And one of the bullies sees Stitches and automatically thinks, oh, I want to have that. And she rips apart Stitches right in front of Victoria's face. And all Victoria has left is the friendship bracelet that she made for Stitches. Now, after school, she goes crying to her mom and explains what happened. And even though her mom is really upset, she remembers that she saw a flyer earlier that day for a new toy store that just came to town called Build a Buddy. And there, Victoria will get to create her new best friend and one that's even alive. So this is the beat sheet that breaks down what happens during this film. So the opening image will be Victoria in the backseat of her car driving through town with her parents, and she's holding Stitches in her hands and looks outside and sees two little girls playing with each other, and she becomes really upset because she's been a loner all of her life, and all she's ever really wanted was somebody to play with and someone she can hang out with that's her own age and not her parents. So moving on, the break into two part, she goes to school, she takes a deep breath because it's her first day and she's super nervous. And when she's there, it's lunchtime and she is searching for a place to sit, and she decides to be brave and go sit with a group of kids and try to introduce herself and make friends. And of course, they're acting nice at first, and then she's showing off Stitches and is like, hey, I want to be a surgeon, and this is what I just did. And the bullies laugh at her, and one of the mean girls takes Stitches and mutilates her right in front of Victoria. So after that, the all is lost part, she's devastated, she's walking somberly to the car. And now, when this part happens, and when the bullying part happens as well, I want the movie to be playing with color and start to desaturate when this is all happening. So at this part in the movie, it will be almost black and white, especially the part where she's explaining to her mom everything that happens, but it will suddenly turn to desaturation as Frankie is being torn apart right in front of her. But then the break into three, the mom smiles and reassures her that everything's going to be okay and takes her to this new store, Build a Buddy. So while there, she meets the worker, and he's a typical teenage boy that doesn't really want to be there, but he's going to try his best to help Victoria. And while she's there, she gets to pick out the hair, the eyes, the notes, the outfit that she wants for her new friend. Kind of like a big chain store where you get to make your own stuffed animals that we have here in the real world. But after he has all the parts, he puts it into a magic machine where her new best friend will be magically created. And then Frankie is finally created, and the final image will be Victoria and Frankie sitting at that same bench that Victoria saw at the beginning of the film, and they will be there playing with their own dolls and laughing and having the best time ever. And Frankie will be in the friendship brace. Frankie will be wearing the friendship bracelet that Stitches was once wearing, and their dolls and themselves even have matching bracelets as well. So the genre of this movie, family, it's animated, and it's a feel-good film. And I want it to be targeted for kids 3 and up. And I want it to be between 5 to 8 minutes so it can hold the attention span of kids that young. But like I also want it to be pleasurable for older people as well, for their parents. And the style of this film, it's going to be 3D, but I wanted to have a 2D feel kind of like the movie Claws that's on Netflix. And the theme obviously is bullying and not to be afraid to be yourself and have strength, because Victoria, even though she was scared, she decides to be brave and tries to make friends. Now, for the marketing of this film, it would be by word of mouth, and then we put some teasers on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, all the social media places. And now, so this is Victoria. She is the bubbly protagonist and wants to be the surgeon like her mom. And the top right picture is her holding Stitches that she made. And if you notice, the bottom picture is the part where she's walking away from school, and this is in a desaturated tone because, like I said, I want to play with color in this film. So we talked all about Victoria. Here's Frankie finally, and she's very shy and nervous, and she is following in the footsteps of Victoria. Victoria is basically like her new parent and teaches her what to do. And the bottom right picture is her holding the doll that she got to create with Victoria. So this is Victoria's parents, and they are very loving parents, even though they might not be around as much because they are very big in this town now, since they're the primary healthcare workers for everyone that lives in the town. Now this is Brian, the one worker I talked about earlier that works at Build-A-Buddy. He obviously, you can tell, hates his job, but you know, has to make a living somehow. And finally, these are the school creatures that bullies Victoria at the lunch table. Now, they may look really cute, but they're monsters after all. And the girl at the bottom right is the one that rips apart Stitches. Now, for continuing the story, I think it'd be really awesome to have a spin-off series called The Adventurous Adventures of Victoria and Frankie that follow them after their life of the creation of Frankie. And I would want it to be 22-minute episodes and have it available on Disney Junior for children to watch, and then have it eventually go to Disney Plus. Now for merchandising, I think it would be really cool to have plush dolls of both the girls and have the dolls come with the little dolls that they're holding right there. And with that being said, it would be really cool and interesting to have a DIY doll sewing kit where kids get to make their own dolls, and it would come with directions on how to do that and fabric and alt thread and everything you need. And then for friendship bracelets, I would want to sell Victoria and Frankie's actual friendship bracelets, and then also a DIY friendship bracelet kit that kids would be able to make and share with their friends. So yeah, that was my pitch for Build-A-Buddy. Thank you for watching, and I hope you all enjoyed.